Back with Midcap Masala. Before the break, we were interacting with the management of Vikran Engineering, and their guidance looks very strong in terms of their order book, 6,600 crores for FY27, and surplus of 10,000 crores for FY28 in terms of order book is what the company is guiding. But shifting focus from one management conversation to the other, we now have the management of NephroPlus joining us on the show. Mr. Rohit Singh, the Group CEO, the Group Chief Executive Officer of NephroPlus, joining us on the show right now. Mr. Singh, hi, morning, and good to be speaking with you. You know, your latest acquisition, 2 dialysis centers in the Philippines within 3 days. Talk to us about the rationale behind this, if this is a part of your structured roll-up plan for the market, and what are the opportunities that you're looking out for and your growth outlook for the Philippines market?
Thank you, Snehi and Ashisha, for having me on the show. Good morning to all of you viewers as well. So, as people might know, that NephroPlus is Asia's largest dialysis network. We operate in 5 countries. After India, Philippines is our second largest market. And we just crossed the 50 clinic milestone 2 days ago in the Philippines. And we have had 8 acquisitions in this financial year. We started this financial year with 42 odd clinics there. And now, as we speak, we have reached a 50 milestone mark. So this ties in with our strategy of going deeper in the markets that NephroPlus operates in. As I said, India the first and the Philippines second, and we slowly ramp up in every geography we operate. We go deeper in that, and when we acquire an inorganic center like this, already operating center, which we call a brownfield center, this ties in with our long-term strategy of margin accretive, stable state. And this the last center that we acquired in the Bataan province of the Philippines has close to 90 guests, what we call patients as guests, and doing over 900 treatments. So it's at par with any other stable center in the Philippines. So yes, we are very bullish on Philippines, and we continue to expand our footprints there.
Which other geographies, Mr. Singh, are you venturing into? Any other expansion plans globally?
So, as I said, interesting, and I've mentioned that in past as well, that, NephroPlus has 3, or any dialysis network typically has 3 levers of growth. One lever of growth is the same clinic, organic growth. So the same clinic, the volume increases. Second is same geography, footprints increasing more clinics, what we've just witnessed in Philippines. And third, and the largest lever is opening a new market or having a large acquisition or a big PPP, state level PPP is the third largest lever, which typically is very unpredictable. The second piece, which is center roll-ups, is predictable. We can predict it on an annual basis. And the in-center volume is a quarterly, comfortably we can predict, given it's a chronic situation. So we are actively looking at 2 to 3 markets. We are already present in CIS, Uzbekistan. We are already present in Southeast Asia and Philippines. So both these regions we are looking at. We have we've been in Saudi Arabia for 3 years through a joint venture, and a new Ministry of Health tender has just come out, which would take few quarters to materialize. So we are actively working there as well. So Saudi Arabia remains our focus market. Over and above, we are looking at a couple of markets in the CIS and the Southeast Asia as well. But again, that will take time to mature and probably enter.
Okay, and understood. Mr. Singh, given the global supply chain and the forex volatility that we've seen this year, has sourcing of dialysis consumables or any machinery, has that cost pressure increased for you? And how are you looking at addressing this concern, if at all it is a concern for you?
So great question. I think no business have been not impacted in some manner or the other by this global and supply chain constraints that we all witnessed in the last couple of months. So NephroPlus, good part about being in the dialysis business is the demand has not got hit because it's a chronic, non-discretionary medical requirement. So the demand piece has not got hit, but obviously we've had our costing pressure on the consumables because of high dependency on PVC. But so we would expect, we are witnessing a few basis point pressure on our margins. But I think going forward, given that stability could be expected in time to come, in Q3 or Q4, we should be back to our base. So there would be short-term pressure on the margins, not very significant, but yes, there will be, and we hope to get that even out by the Q3 or Q4 of this year.
Okay, and now with the two Philippines acquisitions that you have done, what is the total center count today and what is the target for FY27? How many new centers do you aim to add?
Yeah. So we operate as a platform, we operate 345 clinics, close to 310 in India, 50 now in Philippines, 6 in Uzbekistan, and one is about to be operationalized in Saudi Arabia. So our plan is very clear that, as I said, we'll continue going deeper in the market. So in India, we hope to add 40 to 50. We sign new clinics in India. We hope to do to 15 new clinics in Philippines in this year, and I think we are on track with that comfortably. We already done 8. So this we'll continue adding around 50 to 60 clinics in this year, which would translate to a 15 to 20 CAGR in next 3 to 4 years on the revenue front. So I think what we had kind of committed earlier, what we had given guidance earlier, we are on track of getting there.
Right. In terms of your CAGR guidance, the revenue guidance, revenue CAGR guidance of 15 to 20%, you reiterated that. But I'm a little curious about the center addition guidance. Basis the last interaction, I believe your number was at 40 to 50%. You're hiking it to 50 to 60%, 50 to 60 centers. Pardon me. Is that correct?
No, so it would be in the range because
Okay.
I'm saying this is the gross addition. There could be 1 or 2, shutdowns if that comes in, but largely the gross addition would be in the range of 50, 5 take here. Because as I said, this is not a very predictable on quarter. Few sign-ups, few things get delayed. Few we are expecting to happen now, but may take a little longer. So it is on a year basis, we can predict this second lever very comfortably, but it's very hard to say quarter. So that's why it's safe to assume we would be around 50 plus minus 5.
So that's as far as center addition is concerned. But let's also talk about top line growth, because at the end of fourth quarter, you did tell your investors that you're looking and aiming for 15 to 20% top line growth on a CAGR basis over the next 3 to 4 years. Will you be able to achieve that kind of growth this year as well, despite everything that is happening on the geopolitical front? 15 to 20% revenue growth for FY27, is that intact?
Yeah, so as I said, given the geopolitical situation, our revenue pressures have not come, given the situation, the nature of business we are on. It's just the cost margin pressure marginally which has come. So revenue front, I think what we had committed of 15 to 20 CAGR on a 3 to 4 year horizon, because as I said, there would be few market entries that could be or a lumpy one big project coming into which swings the needle. So we are very confident to deliver that on a 3 to 4 year horizon, which we had said during our Q4 results as well. So we maintain that stance that we are confident on that.
Sounding good over there, Mr. Singh. You did mention margins. Any visibility if FY27 margins could cross 20% this time?
Yeah, so I think what on our last financial year, we were at a 23-24% margin. So we would be in the similar range on a year basis. As I said, there is little pressure for this quarter given the consumables, but I hope to get that corrected in the later part of the year. So net, we would be on the similar range is what we expect, but we'll see as the time proceeds.
I think safe to say that the second half could be more optimistic in terms of financials compared to the first?
Yes, we are a growth company, so obviously every quarter is expected to be better than the previous one. So I would want to maintain the same trajectory and then hope that our H2 is better than H1. So that's the expectation. And given that, as I said earlier, also with more stability coming in the global space, we would be more bullish on the second half.
We did talk about your expansion in the Philippines market, but what about Saudi Arabia? Because I believe you are looking to venture into that as well. And last time when you spoke to your investors, you did tell them that perhaps the first clinic in Saudi Arabia is likely to be commencing in the next 2 months. Has that happened? What is the progress on that front? And what will the expansion strategy be in the Saudi market?
So again, great question. Saudi is a very different market from our existing markets that we are operating on. And because health is a state subject there, it's typically driven by a tender market, like a tender market, typically driven by the tenders through various ministries, and Ministry of Health being the biggest ministry which kind of controls the health there. So we entered 3 years ago through a joint venture there with our partner, which again is a listed company, Tibia. and we started a clinic, and which was now got operating license, but there is a commercial license awaited, so it's in the licensing process. So we are hopeful that this clinic should be operational within next 30 days time period, and that would be the starting of our footprint in the country. But the major piece, as I mentioned briefly earlier, will be through a Ministry of Health and Ministry of Defense dialysis tender, which the EOI just got released, but then it has various stages of RFP and RFQ, which will follow in the next few quarters. So I think we would have visibility of the quantum of business in a couple of more quarters in Saudi Arabia. But our first footprint should be active in the next 30 days, hopefully.
Sounding very good on that front, Mr. Singh. Thank you so much for your time. And let's say in the next 30 to 60 days, we hope to interact with you once again. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me here. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Viewers, with that, I'm afraid we're completely timed out on this edition of Midcap Masala. From Ashesha, me and the team that put this show together. Thanks so much for tuning in, but keep watching ET Now, because Buy Now, Sell Now is up.